Well, let me know how many's in here when you get in. If you can get in, fools. Never tells me. Go ahead and give me a comment. Most of you do not get notifications because it's my channel. It has been a long few days. I have been hard at it. I'm telling you, this unemployed life will wear you out. I wish one of these employed people would try to walk a day in my shoes and see what would happen. You guys remember last week when I was talking about Bill Maher? You know, Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. Remember that when I was telling you guys how dumb Bill Maher is? How dumb Tim Pool is, all these older people. What's up, man? What's up, Mossy Man? Remember I was telling you guys about how ignorant these people are? Well, here are again. Tim Pool does the same exact episode that I did. If you don't know who Jack Posobiec is, the right-wing journalist. He's got his own channel. He's pretty informative. The scary thing about Jack Posobiec is, I mean, he says all the right things. But what people don't understand is, yes, evil. The Bible even speaks about being on the right and being on the left. It says the left will always be evil. That's evil. That's why you should always be on the right. I mean, that's a scripture from the Bible talking about left and right. Now, of course, you know, we can take it as far as Republican and Democrat or conservative or liberal. I think we know who's evil. The Democrats. They're wacko. So Tim Pool did a part on his show about Bill Maher being dumb, where Jack Posobiec at the CPAC, I think it was, I guess it was CPAC or maybe it's a Republican convention. Jack Posobiec gets on stage. He says, "Well, this is the end of democracy. It's a shame we didn't get it done on January 6th. Shame we didn't destroy the country on January 6th." And it was all in a total joke, as anybody with common sense knows. It's called sarcasm. The left doesn't know how to sarcasm. What's up, Mr. Cole? Glad you're in here, man. Been a while since I saw you. So the left, they don't know how to meme. They don't know how to joke. They're so... They have policed their speech so much that when they hear a joke, they think, and they so desire, they have been so programmed to think that anything outrageous like the end of democracy must be real, because listen, for years they've told us the right's going to kill democracy. They're trying to burn books. The don't say gay. So the lies are so, when we want to stand up and get what we want, then we're the ones destroying democracy. Well, and this is one thing that Tucker Carlson, and I like Tucker, he's starting to come around. He's an Episcopalian, which means nowhere near to being Christian, except with a decent basic moral compass. But he is the number one person who always talks about, it's a democracy, the end of democracy. This is a democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. We elect leaders that's supposed to represent us, and they do not. There's someone in the tree behind you. Yeah, well, there's somebody on the other end of your life that ain't me. So Tim Pool made this big joke about Bill Maher, because Bill Maher, he's on the set of Real Time with Bill Maher going, "Oh my gosh, am I just missing the joke or something? This is so serious, the end of democracy." Ludicrous. So, as always, like Alex Jones, guys, I'm ahead of the game. I'm always ahead of the curve. Dealing with a lot of gang stalking this week. They've done something to my truck now. I think they've sprayed it out of gas. Coming down the road, and I knew I had plenty of gas. And then a minute ago, I made sure. I was like, well, gas has went up 30 cents in 2 days, guys, if you didn't know. Gas has went up 30 cents in 2 days. I told you it's going to climb to the sky come July. So I hurried up, and it almost died in the middle of the road. So I got off the road and then got it cranked back up and went and stopped, got gas. And then I went back, and the dang thing started stuttering again. So I think they've messed with this thing again. It's been a while since it's been blatant. I mean, a lot of things here lately, like socks. I thought that was an informative episode. I don't know if you guys did, but, you know, and I've done episodes on how petty gang stalkers are, just the little things that can drive you nuts. $8 in Louisiana, man, I'd leave there. If I was in Louisiana, I'd want to be in the swamps. I'd want to be 100 miles in the swamps is exactly where I'd want to be at. Unfortunately, no place is going to be safe when China gets done with us. So what I've been doing the past couple of days is, it's springtime. This is the time of year where you go buy lawnmowers and fix them up and sell them if you're unemployed like me. Because, you know, I don't do nothing all day long. I'm lazy. So, hit Facebook Marketplace. $4.50. Wow. Yeah, it was $3.29 at the Murphy's gas station. And I drove a little further, and it was $3.17, which is outrageous. It was $2.98 the last time I put gas in this truck. So I go and I check it out, and I didn't know the boy works with my daughter, so I go to look at it. It's $200. He's like, and on the ad, he said, the deck doesn't work. The deck won't cut on. Well, I piddle with this stuff, and I got a good buddy that works on lawnmowers for a living. So I got connections. So we go look at it. I take my buddy with me. And I mean, he cranked thing up, and it runs like a top. It's like from 1984, and those are the better buy. Back then, when they actually used steel instead of all plastic, fantastic stuff. So he said, I don't know what happened, man, but I ran it through the woods, and it bumped, and the deck started working. So I'm like, great. All I got to do is pump up a tire and clean it. So I brought it home, pressure washed it, purple powered it, cleaned it up. I got to put a tube in the tire, but runs and drives. I paid $200 for it. I'm going to ask for it, because did you know you got a Home Depot now? Just a basic 32-inch cut riding lawnmower is $2,600. That's insane. So I got that one, and I was about to pull in the yard with it, and I'd hit up another guy, or I saw another guy, I saw another lawnmower. This one looked like it was about new. So the guy advertised it for $150. Said he couldn't get it to run. So I drive down there, just dropped that one mower off and picked this one up. Went down there to get it. It's a Mexican guy, barely speaks English. And he said he wanted $150. This mower is like new. The deck there's not a dent on it anywhere, not a scratch on the deck. It hasn't probably mowed 3 times. I figured maybe the key switch was dead because it wouldn't crank. So he was trying to jump it off the solenoid, but it wouldn't have fire to the coil. So, got him down $10, bought it for $140. And this exact same mower right now at Home Depot is $2,600, and I got it for $140. So today, I cleaned it up Saturday or Sunday. I cleaned it, the Bronco and the other mower real good. So today we started working on it. I had to pull the carburetor off. The carburetor's pouring gas. Got the carburetor off, swapped it out with a used one. Connected one wire from the coil to the switch so it had power, because I figured the coil wasn't firing. It just spin and spin and spin. Had a bunch of water in the gas, some bad gas. Got that thing running and driving, and it's just a stunning lawnmower. Good looking, $2,600 lawnmower, and I got $140 in it. So, sitting there helping my buddy work on mopeds and scooters and lawnmowers today. I've been helping him the last couple of days. I go help him when he gets busy, and I help him, and then he helps me on my stuff. So while I'm sitting there today, this morning before I got up, I look on there, and there's an ad for another lawnmower. The girl's like, it's a Craftsman lawnmower. I want $100 or best offer. Something like the deck wouldn't work on it or something. So she texts me on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm like, great. I load up my trailer. I go to my buddies to tell him what I'm getting ready to do. And then Facebook shuts off. Facebook died today. It's going to happen a lot more. These are not accidents. China is hitting every little system they can to know where they can get us. There's a pig. I thought I felt him. There's pigs ahead. Non-stop pigs always trying to steal something from somebody. Bunch of pigs. Let me see. Yep. Pigalicious. Anyway, I go to pick this lawnmower. I told her I'd meet her at 11 o'clock. Facebook shuts down. I don't have the address. I don't have her phone number. I've got no way to get a hold of her. So I didn't know that Facebook was out. I'm texting and calling Tina, and of course she never answers my call because that's the way she is. If her phone rings at 4 o'clock in the morning, she'll answer it. But if I call during the day, Mr. Invisible all the way back to the house in the driveway to fix the refrigerator that they said they were going to replace, but now they're not going to replace it. Gang stalking 101, of course. So I kept trying to log in Facebook, log in, and kick me off the computer, kept me off Facebook. Just for some reason, every time I try to go buy something, my phone boogers up. Just like when I went to go pick up that John Deere. It tells me to go all the way down 321, cut back to the right, 30-minute ride. Well, once I got to where it was, I knew exactly where it was. And I drove home, and I got home in 12 minutes. They hacked it and took me around a 30-minute loop like they do all the time. They'll send me completely backwards to get somewhere every time because I'm hacked all the time. So Facebook finally gets up. I go to her house, this chick's house, and she beats me outside. I had to drive around a couple times to find it. And it's this big Craftsman lawnmower, 18 horsepower, one of the opposing cylinders, which is a real strong motor. This is 48-inch cut, I think it is, or 46-inch cut. Nice lawnmower. And she's like, well, I got another one back here, too. I was like, what do you mean? Well, that one back there, the deck belt broke on, and then we just bought a new one. I'm like, well, you want to get rid of it? I'll haul it off, too. So she's like, yeah, I'll take it. So I got a Craftsman 18 horsepower, 42-inch cut, or 46. It's either 42 or 46. I got it, and it's got a bagger with it, and I got a Boland's, which is a Lowe's brand lawnmower, for free. Good piddle on them today, and I got the Boland's actually running. Put gas in it, blew the tank out, put gas in it, and the Craftsman had a brand new battery. She just bought a battery last month, like 3 days ago. The sticker says 3 of 24. Brand new spanking battery. She paid like $80 for. So I bought 2 lawnmowers for $20 and the battery. So score there. I got the Boland's running, and my buddy's got a belt for it, and he ain't gonna charge me $10 for the belt. So everything goes right this week. Like I said, grass is growing. I should make about $2,000 selling 4 lawnmowers. Should make more than that. I should get, because I'm going to ask 15 on that John Deere, probably sell it for 12. But that's the life of a man who's unemployed and does nothing. Unemployed and does nothing. So I'm going to get back around to where I want to be at in this conversation. I don't know how many's in here. 3 people. Hit that thumbs up, guys. It's the only way you're going to get it. Isn't it weird how the other week it let me get 3,000 people watching, now it won't let me get but 20? Strange. So, this slave mentality in America is so sickening to me, where people just want to work. I'm just going to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. If you're not making money with your money, you're what, man? That sucks. 13 people. I ain't cutting grass again. I'm out of that business, Mr. Cole. I am done. I've cut more grass than 200 people, you know. I'm not doing it again. Ain't enough money in it. There's too many illegal aliens that are out there cutting big yards for $10 a piece. I ain't doing it. I'm going to work smart, not hard. I'm done with that hard labor anymore, even though I still work myself half to death. But this slave mentality, if your money does, if you make money, if it takes you longer to earn the money than it does to spend the money, you got a problem. It should take longer for you to spend your money than it does to make it. And that's the American way. We live well above our means. We got cars and trucks and cable and internet, and we got bills on top of bills. They say the average American now has $60,000 in credit card debt. You hear all these trolls want to talk trash about me. I'm poor white trash. I mean, where'd Chief Handler go? Chief Handler has totally disappeared. Did somebody finally lock him up? Talking about how we're just poor white trash. If you owe on a house right now, you're screwed. It ain't never going to be yours. You pay your house off. It doesn't belong to you in America. It's not yours. Because you still got to pay taxes on it every year. It's just like this old truck I'm driving. 88 Ford Ranger's got 89,555 miles on it. Paid for. Runs great. Ain't worth nothing. I mean, if I wanted to sell, every time I drive it, somebody, people like it. People, want to buy it, but I don't need nothing fancy. All the money that I pissed away in my life back when I had money. When you're making $250,000 a year, money goes fast. You don't think about it. It's like today, every time if I go out to eat and I spend $5 on a cheeseburger, it hits me in my gut. Because I know I've got food at home that I can cook and spend nothing on it. What, $1 for the hamburger, a little bit for the cheese, a little bit for the bread? That's what has destroyed this country, is millions of good men and women, and their mom and dad and grandparents taught them, just work like hell. Just work hard and you'll get what you want. Instead of teaching their children, keep your bills to a minimum so you don't have to work all the time. It's not how much you make, it's how much you spend. If you got $2,000 going out and you ain't making but $1,800, you're not going to make it. And in America today, as I've said before, debt is our slave master. Well, 2 years I'd probably be losing. Teresa. Oh, where you been at, you and your boyfriend? Everybody, welcome Teresa to the chat. She's the large woman in California who's got the stolen valor husband who always likes to attack me. So strange as they send their pictures of their daughter. It's really weird. Weird, but I missed you. God bless you. So these poor people. I see you got spell check on your phone, Teresa. That's good to know. I could actually read what you put, unless this is your brother or your boyfriend or your husband texting for you. But people waste so much money; they're in debt. They can't afford what they can't afford what they got. God forbid they fall down and break their leg. Then what are they going to do then? They're going to lose everything. All you have to do on earth is feed yourself. How hard is it to feed yourself? And here's the largest problem in the Caucasian community. You look at these illegals coming in. They don't even have to know each other. And there'll be 10 of them in a house, and all 10 of them will pay off a truck. And then they'll get another truck. And then they'll get another car. And another truck. Pay it off, pay it off, pay it off. And they'll keep doing that until everybody's got a car. Then they'll go get a house. Or they'll all start a business, and then they'll frequent that business. Boom, 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 boom. On top of each other. Holding each other up. But in the Caucasian community, slaves, or the ones that don't want to work at all, don't want to do nothing to make no money, want to rely on the rest of the people. Greed. Can't stick together. I'm trying to tell my daughters, I said, girls, why can't we just all get a piece of land together, work like heck, we'll build you a home. I don't need nothing major. I can live in a tent, don't matter to me. I'm easy to please, I know. The number one thing is food. Because I'm telling you, when the lights go out, what are you going to do? When the EMP hits, that fancy car ain't going to move. Even my little Ranger, as old as it is, depending on how big and hard that EMP is, I've got a backup computer for it. But what if it fries out everything? We're all dead in the water. So I'd love to find me a little old Model T or a Model A. Just a basic, bare, nothing essentials. I've been unfortunately thinking, about putting my old shovel head together. Because it's points, it doesn't have any computers on it, nothing. Just put one of my bikes together, sell the big one, take the hot rod motor off, sell the hot rod motor, because it's like an $8,000 or $9,000 engine. sell it with the stock engine, and then go sell the hot rod motor, and then have enough to build my shovel head, get it together, and then I've just got basic transportation. If I got to put mud tires on it to get up and down muddy roads to get away, I will. But that debt, man, when I was young, all I wanted more and more and more and more and more. I wanted a new motorcycle. I didn't want new stuff, but I wanted new stuff to me. I'd buy a car and fix it up and sell it. Buy a car, fix it up and sell it. Buy a car, fix it up and sell it. And the people in my house, they see all these vehicles. They're like, well, I thought that was your dream van. Yeah. I thought you always wanted a Cadillac. Yeah. I thought you always wanted a lifted K10. Yeah. I always wanted all these things. But I'm trying to move forward. If your money ain't making money for you, you're wasting your money. So I get things that I like, and I fix it up, and I sell it. Just like a piece of land in the mountains, and build my own little cabin. Yep, that's what I would love to do. But see, the problem is now, all these places that talk about being off-grid, you can't even be off-grid. They will not let you be off-grid anymore. They won't. I tried everywhere. It's like, I just want to be off-grid. Let me poop in a compost toilet or poop in a bucket and bury it outside. Oh, no. And when government starts telling you no, then you realize why you have to get a building permit. And you realize when you got to get a hunting permit. You start realizing why you have to have all these pieces of paper that says you have permission to do what you're lawfully allowed to do. Right? So, the only people that are going to survive, and they're not going to survive long, trust me, they're not going to survive long, is these people that's been on a plantation their whole life. Where I'm at in Alaska is, need to come up. I'd love to visit Alaska. I would love to visit Alaska. I'm just terrified that right now, at any moment, the crap could hit the fan, and I can't be here for my children. That's my biggest worry. And they refuse to listen to me. They hear me, but they won't listen. Nobody believes what's coming. Nobody believes a word I say when I say the crap's getting ready to hit the fan. I see it all. It's clear as day what's happening. And everybody's like, nope. We're safe. Let me just lay it out the way it is. We have an army. And the general of our army works for the bad guys. We don't have an army. Thank you, Miss Gabby. We don't have an army. If we have an army and the general for our army is working for the bad guys, we don't have an army. Just like a constitutional sheriff. They're not going to stand up for you either. I was talking to a Mexican guy today. We went and picked up his motor scooter to work on it. And every other word was the F word, but he's been here a while. He came during the first Reagan invasion, when Ronald Reagan invited 40 million people in. He's like, man, he said, I'm a slave. I work all the time. I don't know what to do. Wouldn't listen. Doesn't understand. All he knows is the work. He's like, oh, I had a girl living with me, and she was slapping me and beating me and stealing my money. And I called the police, and they came and locked me up. I said, yep, never call the cops. Ever. The cops are the bad guys. They don't love you. The law enforcement hates you. They want to put you in a cage and take your money away. So what do we do? How do we wake up these people? How do we get them to listen? I mean, I know from the bottom of my heart exactly what Noah felt when Noah kept telling the people it's going to rain. It's going to rain. It's going to rain. And nobody would listen to Noah. No one. And then it started raining. It's coming soon. Yep, people are blind. It's sad our household median is over 100,000, but we are middle class here. God will lead us. All right, I'm still here. I get home and the signal quits working. I was talking to my buddy this morning. I said, man, it is amazing how stupid people are now. I don't know how people are surviving as dumb as they are. I mean, listen, when the crap hits the fan, you're going to see all these illegals that are here. They're going to be the top of the food chain. And if you're in the cities like I'm in the city, it's going to be bad. It's going to be. And my fear is, if I can't get to my children. See somebody take a dump, I said, yeah, man, there's no moral compass left. We are officially, I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about, and I thought about it this morning, and it just came to me. Thank you, Lord. We are seeing what it is when America, what happens to America when America turns her back on God, because then God turns his back on you. And it's scary being a Christian and just trusting God. That's terrifying, to just trust God, because I'm a man. I've been a man since I was 9 years old. I've been working since I was 8. I know what it's like to have to earn. If you don't work, you don't eat. I was watching a Joe Rogan clip this morning, and it had Cat Williams, the black comedian. And let me tell you, people always talk about how Cat Williams is a genius. You know the comedian, Cat Williams. They talk about how he's a genius, and how when he was a kid, his mom and dad were either Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses, and he wasn't allowed to watch TV. He didn't have birthdays. He didn't celebrate Christmas. All he did all day long was read. So everybody talks as he's just this super mind. So Joe Rogan had him on his show. And if you see Cat Williams on stage, it's always MF this and screw the white man and bashing white people and MF and GD and cussing like a sailor on his HBO comedy specials and his Kings of Comedy stuff. But he talks about how spiritual he is and how godly Cat Williams is. So he's sitting there talking to Joe Rogan, and this clip was called Sodom and Gomorrah, what Joe Rogan and Cat Williams says about Sodom and Gomorrah. Now listen, everybody keeps talking like Joe Rogan's going to accept God because he'll talk about the Bible. Well, he always talks about the Bible like it's just a book of stories, like it's all just made up. He doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in Jesus. Joe Rogan's agnostic. His gut tells him that all this was done with intelligence. Everything around us is done with intelligence. And we just didn't crawl out of a creek. His gut tells him that. But see, Joe Rogan is playing a part. Okay? He plays the part of the everyday guy that's just smart enough to look like he knows what's going on, but he's just too dumb to believe all the BS that we know is true. So he's asking Cat Williams, what really happened at Sodom and Gomorrah? It's speculation. And Cat Williams said, oh, no, it's not speculation. And you see Cat Williams on stage, he's this loudmouth, smart ass who hates white people. But in front of Joe Rogan, he acted like an 8-year-old girl. Oh, Joe, it's not speculation, Joe. I mean, he was just super feminine, and he was being very meek. And now, that's the first time they had ever met, so maybe they were just, getting on, or Cat Williams is giving above and beyond respect because he's been canceled a bunch of times. I mean, if you speak truth, you're going to get canceled, and Cat Williams has had his fair share of telling truth. So as soon as Joe Rogan said, what really happened in Sodom and Gomorrah? And Cat said, Joe, you're going to get me canceled 16 times in this whole hour I've been here. But let's go into it. And Joe said, well, what do you really think happened? They speculated that the whole town, Sodom and Gomorrah, was it a real place? And then Cat's like, oh yeah, Joe, it's not speculation. It was a real place on the map back then. They named different towns. And Joe's like, well, they said the whole town turned to a pillar of salt. And I'm sitting there looking around like, Cat's smart. He's read the Bible. Is he going to correct him that the whole town didn't turn to a pillar of salt? And I kept waiting for him to say, oh no, Joe,
angels came and was going to let Lot and his wife leave, and the angels, the people of the town were going to rape the angels. So the angels, the Lot said, if I can save 50 people, will you save it? And he couldn't find no people to save the town, so God burned it with sulfur balls, leveled Sodom and Gomorrah to the ground. Nothing left but the walls and the 98% pure sulfur balls, which are found nowhere on earth. The sulfur balls in Sodom and Gomorrah of the Bible are still there. You can dig them out of the wall, and they tested them, and they were 98% pure. But here's Cat Williams, who I've been told for years, he's a genius. He's remarkably intelligent. He's extremely smart. And he doesn't say, oh, no, Joe, it's not a story. It's real life. He wouldn't even call him out about it being that he turned the town to a pillar of salt. That was Lot's wife, because the angel said, do not even turn around to look at the destruction. And Lot's wife turned around, and instantly she turned to a pillar of salt. And I've seen archaeological shows on YouTube where they actually found the pillar of salt. That was what they assumed to be Lot's wife. It was a pillar of salt, 6 foot tall. So Kat says, oh, well, I don't want to get canceled, Joe Rogan. And Joe's like, well, what do you think it is? That God was mad because people weren't worshiping him? Or was it over hygiene? Wait a second. Cat Williams is a genius, and he studied the Bible. He's read all these books, but he doesn't know one of the very first, not really the very first, but one of the pretty astounding happenings in Earth history, that God sent angels to warn the people in the town that God's getting ready to burn the place to the ground. But Cat Williams, is as smart and intelligent as he is, doesn't know that that's what happened. He doesn't know it. And you could tell that he wanted to mention homosexuality because they were raping men, women, and children. No, the people in Sodom and Gomorrah were trying to break down the door of Lot's house to rape the angels. Now, angels don't look like what we think. They're not these big white people with platinum blonde hair and big feathers. Angels don't look like that. Angels have eyeballs all over them. They are really odd. But these angels somewhat resembled us. And in the Bible, it describes them as being beautiful. So I guess maybe different types of angels. But they were trying to beat the door down to rape the angels. And the angels were like, well, that's not going to happen. But Cat Williams could not say there was rampant sexual deviance, rampant homosexuality, rampant bestiality, rampant pedophilia, straight evil in Sodom and Gomorrah, and then God sent 2 angels to warn these people. And the genius, Cat Williams, is just sitting there being feminine. And it'll take 3 days before this video posts. For some reason it does that. I don't understand. And I'll link the Joe Rogan show where Cat Williams is there, and hopefully that clip. But Cat would not say what the truth was, that God burned it down over immorality. I mean, Joe said, and Cat Williams said, oh, it's really about hygiene. God burned it down because they wouldn't brush their teeth. And of course, Joe had to make it look like, oh, God's just some kind of jealous ex-boyfriend. Well, he is. God is very, very jealous of us. That's why he says, do not worship another. God is very jealous of you and your time. He is jealous of all of us. He demands our praise. But Joe just made him seem like a petulant ex-girlfriend that just wouldn't leave you alone and wanted to slash your tires. As many people that Joe's had on his show who are actual biblical scholars, no one has just sat right there and shoved the word of God down Joe's throat. I mean, Jordan Peterson made good points, but it's like no one will just, it's like everybody's trying to sugarcoat the truth for Joe Rogan. Listen here, some people And I told you this last week, when you're an employer, like I've been my whole life, when you employ people, some people you say please, some people you yell at, some people you talk sternly, some people you show them what to do and let them roll. But you don't, with somebody like Joe Rogan, try to make God's word more palatable. You don't sugarcoat God's word. The Bible says, don't change a jot or a tittle of God's word. Do not add and do not subtract. So Cat Williams, the perfect opportunity, if he was even, because he talks about how spiritual he is, Joe Rogan, I'm spiritual. I'm really spiritual. I read all these books. I'm thinking, has the level of intelligence been that compromised that someone like Cat Williams, that everybody says, oh, he's a genius, golly gee, but he's really not? This is rhetorical because I know the truth. The level has really dropped off that far where people like him are assumed to be geniuses. Imagine the dumb below him, because I see it. I see the dumb below these people, the ignorance. I mean, they're poisoning our minds and making us stupid. They're not going to put me on a show. Shotgun, I appreciate it. I mean, I don't understand. I can't believe that YouTube has let my voice be out there as long on the last couple live streams when they let me have 3,000 people watching. It's literally like they turned it on for those couple days and then they turned it off. But you know, just like Alex Jones. Alex Jones even said, I would never have a targeted individual on here because you know what? We can't tell if they're schizophrenic or not. And I don't want to push somebody who's schizophrenic on my channel, even though he's had Dr. John on there, Dr. John Hall. He's had, what's the other guy I used to work with him? David somebody that had his own show on there. And he even talked about MK Ultra. He talked about the targeted individual program. He talked about all the stuff. I mean, Alex Jones knows all this. But everybody keeps talking like this program doesn't exist. When you know about this program, and as I know about the program that I'm on, it is very, very bleak. Because once you know that people's minds can be controlled, then there's no way to stop this agenda. None. I mean, look at what's happening with Donald Trump. Let's look at every obstacle. Boom, 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 boom. They do everything to stop him. And the Democrats even said last week, they said, listen, if he becomes the nominee and he wins the presidency, on January 6th, we're going to stand up and refuse to certify him. They're not going to let anyone else get in their way of power. We are on the bottom hill slope of communism. We are there. All these illegals are sucking millions and millions every month. They're sucking millions. Millions from bank accounts that are already looted. It's just so terrifying to see. And I shouldn't be terrified. But the Bible says God doesn't give a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. That's hard to keep on, because if I didn't have children and grandchildren, I would not worry about a thing. I wouldn't. But knowing when the crap hits the face, I mean, Facebook shut off yesterday for an hour, and the world in America almost come apart. And all over America, power's going out, internet's going out, cables going out, water's shutting off. They're test running everything. Because listen, China don't have to fire guns at us. They got directed energy. I mean, they could melt us out of our shoes and nobody'd know a thing. But all they got to do is shut off the lights. Refrigeration stops, all your food is gone. There ain't no more food at Walmart either. Then America rips itself to pieces. You'll see killing in the streets, just like they're saying in New York. Venezuelan gangs in New York. They hit one store, they got $55,000 in one store in about 3 minutes. Then they went up the road at a boutique shop that had consignments, and they go in there and get $250,000 in 5 minutes. It was Venezuelans. People are getting killed and stabbed, and they're like, well, we just don't understand why crimes went up 30%. Well, I don't know. You brought professional criminals, not these part-time thugs. They're professional criminals from Venezuela. They got and the Democrats are working with them. It's the destruction of America as we know it. I'm so sick of being zapped with weapons. I'm already for it. To get started, like I said, Mr. Cole, I'm just scared for my kids. I'm terrified for my daughters. I am so scared because I don't want to fail them. I do not want to fail my kids. I want to be there. I want to be able to stand in front of gunfire and stop it from hitting them. That's what a father does. That's what a man does. A man stands up to evil. But the Bible says also, it says, do not put God to a foolish test. That's what Jesus told Satan as he's standing up on the mount. And Satan is like, if you'll just bow to me, I'll give you everything. Why don't you just jump off here? Jump off this rock and let your God save you. I think it's a foolish test for people not to listen. Another guy on Facebook. It's amazing. I can be one comment in a million comments, and I'll have 500,000 people attack me. I'm not using cuss words. I'm just speaking my truth. And I hate saying my truth because I know the truth. I know what comes out of my mouth is absolute truth. There's not a question to what I'm saying. I know it. And there's nothing I'm more sure of than the words that come out of my mouth. And this guy's like, oh, your fairy god, your fairy sky god ain't real. And I'm like, you're telling me the apostles, the one that wrote the Bible. I mean, Paul was boiled in chicken grease. Peter was crucified upside down. Bartholomew was skinned alive. Why? Why did this happen? And that's not all of them. There are many others. Many others. Why did they end up with torturous deaths? Because they refused to renounce Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. Now listen to me. If I'm lying about something, and somebody says, "Listen, if you don't retract what you're saying and tell us you're lying, if you don't do that, we're going to fillet the skin off your body and boil you in chicken grease," I'm probably going to stand up and say, "Okay, I lied. Sorry about that, guys." But no, the apostles knew that Jesus was Lord. It's in the Roman documents that Jesus raised the dead, healed the sick, and that Jesus walked the earth for 40 days after he was crucified. He walked the earth for 40 days, showing the hole in his side, showing the hole in his hands, showing people, hey, this is my spiritual body now, but the wounds of my earthly body are here for you to see what I did for you. And yet, they still do not believe. It's like, how on God, and Cat Williams, he said this, he said it's stupid, he said, well, you know, the cradle of time back then, it was the triangle of religions. It was Islam and Judeo. How do you say? I don't know how you say it. Christian, Judeo. Oh, Judeo, Christian, you know, Jews and Christians and Islam. You know, that's the three main religions back then. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Islam didn't come around until 500 years after Christ. But Cat Williams is a genius. Tim Pool, he's a genius. He's so smart. Yet he voted for Obama. All these people are so, the talking heads that are supposed to be so smart. It's like Bill O'Reilly. It was on Fox News, and then now he's got his own stuff. He got fired for sexual misconduct. Bill O'Reilly. He was my first step into the political world because I was just working. I never was an activist until I got on this terrorist watch list. Then I started waking up and say, hey, maybe I need to pay attention to what's around me. Bill O'Reilly himself was on his broadcast and he says, listen, guys, Barack Obama loves America. He doesn't hate America. He's not intentionally destroying it. He's just got policies that are not working good for the American people. And I'm thinking, what? He's like, well, you know what? These people that deny Barack Obama's birth certificate, that's crazy. That's a birth certificate. It's real. The CIA checked it. It's real. It's all good. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama isn't really a man. Why would you say that's a man? And he's not a Muslim. But I mean, he talks, he talks good about Islam, but he's not a Muslim. Why would he do that? Barack Obama's a good guy. He's personable. He's articulate. He loves America. He's just got a different idea for it. And I'm like, these are the people we're supposed to look up to because they're intelligent and they're dumb as a box of rocks? How is this dumb hick right here smarter than all the other people out there talking? And that's not being proud. It's just, is my record of speaking a lot better than anyone else's out there? The millionaires out there that get paid to talk. Isn't my record better than theirs when it comes to telling truth? Now the trolls say, you lie about everything, you unemployed woman beater. Hilarious. Anyway, how many people's in here, Mr. Cole? Give me an update on how many people's still here. 10? I don't know, man. This world is just going so fast. I gotta get my pistol out of the truck. Don't want to leave my guns in here. Mr. Cole, I would implore you again, get you some borax, get you some Epsom salt, get in the bathtub as hot as you can do it, a cup of each. Put a little baking soda in there too. Get in your bathtub and scrub as hard as you can. Only 11. Man, that blows, huh? Only 11. Wow, they've locked me down again, haven't they? Get in your bathtub and scrub. Scrub all that toxic sludge off your skin. It'll help with the receptors. It'll clear out your pores. You won't have those heavy metals on your body drawing in all those weapons. Thank you, Mr. Raleigh. Wants U5. Just do what you can. You have to take care of your body. Don't drink a bunch of soda pop. Don't drink alcohol. Stay away from drugs. Don't eat fast food. It's got so much deadly stuff in what they're feeding us. The food is what's killing us, guys. You just gotta be smarter. You gotta watch the number one thing, and trust me, Mr. Cole, it will work. Scrub your body until you are raw, and it'll almost feel like an adrenaline dump once you get done. Once you do, it's kind of like back when I used to get tattooed. I'd get tattooed and I'd be jacked up for 3 days after my tattoo because it's so much adrenaline going in from the pain. But once you get all that cleared up, it will make a difference. The weapons hurt. I don't want to say anything too personal, but I went to bed and a part of my body was just fine, and I woke up the next day and a part of my body was no longer fine. So it's scary when you go to sleep and you wake up and your body's different because you know somebody's messed around. What's up, Vito? I have been more in tune lately when I hear jets and planes, and it's almost like every time I hear that, it's a warning that one day soon there are going to be jets and planes overhead that have our best well-being in mind, and that is scary when you're talking about, I mean, if you're a targeted individual like me, you know the weapons they have, and you know it can get, trust me, when we saw Maui and Chile and Texas, where they're talking about fire tornadoes, fire typhoons, fire cyclones, that is terrifying. But think about the ones out there today who have voices in their heads that is telling them to hurt themselves or hurt others. And these people are screaming for help and no one will listen. I was at the restaurant today and the waitress was like, she told my buddy, she's like, oh yeah, we're trying to commit my daughter because, you know, she's lost her ever-loving mind. She is just crazy and I can't deal with her no more. And I asked my buddy, I said, what's she doing? Well, she's cutting herself and she's got a bunch going on. I said, does she hear voices? Because I want to know, because that's someone else that I can help. If you're hearing voices trust me when I tell you there's a reason you're hearing voices, and it ain't a chemical imbalance. It ain't you're mentally ill. It's technology. It's if you're hearing voices in your head and nobody else around you's hearing it, it's technology that's wanting to drive you crazy. What's up, Gorf? Man, I was thinking about you today, buddy. I was going to call you, but I was so busy I didn't have time to take a break. I'm scared for the world, man. Ain't nobody coming to help. This is the problem when you're the superpower, guys. If any of those NATO countries stand up and ask for our help in a conflict, we run and help them. You know what happens when we pick up the phone and ask for help? You know what happens? Nothing. We're it. We are the top dogs, and they're getting ready to knock us off. There ain't no help for us. Our military is not going to protect and defend us. Thank you, Gorf. I will. Our military is not going to keep us safe. You need to already think to yourself that our military is expired, because they are. They are. The next time I see a military veteran stand up and say, well, I'm a hero, I fought for your freedom. And I saw this the other night watching, I was clicking through YouTube and I saw the armed fisherman, Michael, down there in Florida that goes around and does Second Amendment audits. I saw him. He's walking around and he saw a veteran. He's like, hey, man, I just want to shake your hand. Thank you so much for your service, because you're the reason why I can walk around with my gun and be proud, because you fought for my right to be free. And I'm like, dude, are you stupid? And at the same time that the armed fisherman is doing this, he's got a Kennedy for President lapel pin on his shirt. And I'm like, he's not, the armed fisherman is really not that smart. He's not smart at all. He found a good gig, off YouTube. He makes probably $3,000-$4,000 a month off YouTube, but here he is. He's a Second Amendment guy. He's fighting for gun rights, which, it's good. It's good to do. But he's thanking a veteran who has never once in his life fought for freedom. There is not a veteran alive or dead the past 75 years that has fought for American freedom. Didn't happen. It's a fairy tale. Quit worshiping these people. It's like one got beside me today and he's got his, I'm a Navy warfare specialist. I was a missile tech. Had it on his big back glass of his nice fancy Ford truck with his $8,000 wheels and tinted windows. And I'm like, well, there goes a lot of taxpayer money. Stonewall Jackson did. You're absolutely right, he did. The last time American freedom was fought for, it was when the South fought the North. So the people that don't know Civil War, please don't come in here and tell me, what are you for slavery? Because it wasn't over slavery. I beat Tim Pool to that one too, didn't I? But here is this guy, the armed fisherman. I can't think of his name. I don't care about it. But he's walking around Daytona Beach, Florida with his AR on his chest, an American flag and a Gadsden flag hanging from his shoulders. And he's got a Kennedy for President sticker on his shirt. And I'm like, does this moron not know that if Kennedy was elected, the first thing he would do was take away your gun rights? He would executive order to shut down the Second Amendment instantly. That's the problem with the right. People like Bill Maher, when they say something that is somewhat agreeable, oh gosh, look at him, he's coming to the right. Just like people with Tim Pool. Tim Pool is not on the right. He's not. It's just the Democrat Party is so far left, Tim Pool looks like he's on the right. He's already said he's going to vote for Trump. He'd already said that. When you get older, you have more conservative beliefs. Michael Taylor, that's it. Solar Yacker. So when you get older, you have more conservative beliefs because you got more common sense. But these people are not on the right. They're not. They're not your friends. And again, as I said, these are the people that are supposed to be smart. I mean, even Glenn Beck. I'm months ahead of Glenn Beck. And I respect Glenn Beck. I mean, he showed his ass when Trump first became president with the Cheetos on his face. I want to be Mr. Orange. I mean, it was stupid. And listen, if Donald Trump was president right now, I would be happy as a pig in poop. But God reminded me the other night. God reminded me because I could not think why it's a no for Trump. I couldn't remember because I've been so clouded by there's so much evil. And everybody says we're picking the less of two evils. Donald Trump is godly compared to Joe Biden. I absolutely agree with you. But here's the deal. I'm going to break it down for all the people out there that's still a Trump fan. And God bless you. I understand why you're a Trump fan. I voted for the man too. Trump's number one job when he took office was to set Jeffrey Epstein free. How did he do that? He hired Alex Azar. Remember him? He's the guy who gave Jeffrey Epstein a sweetheart deal the first time the allegations and conviction came up. He was the one that gave Jeffrey Epstein house arrest in his mansion. That was Trump's guy that did that. It was Bill Barr. And Bill Barr, the Attorney General. Remember Bill Barr, the Attorney General? Bill Barr, the Attorney General, helped raise Jeffrey Epstein, helped train his the center of all this. Jeffrey Epstein is not dead. Trump's job was to set Jeffrey Epstein free. But this is where people miss out. Remember, when they went into Mar-a-Lago and they did the search, they were looking for classified documents. Well, somebody disappeared with a big folder with all the bad stuff that the Democrats did and the CIA did and the FBI did. There's a folder that lists everything they did wrong. You can say they were looking for that, but the whole reason for Trump setting Epstein free is because Epstein was head of an intelligence blackmail operation. You know, the feds waited months, more than 1 month to go down to the island at St. James Island. They waited months before they went down there and cataloged everything. Why? Because people had to go in there first and clean it. They raided Mar-a-Lago to see if Donald Trump had the black. So it's really been getting to me. I'm like, was it really God that told me that he had to let me see Trump's evil? He had to let me see it, how easy people would be convinced. That way I would know how easy people can be how can be convinced that they're wrong. Was it God? Because they have weapons. They use these weapons on me too. But I had to get the reminder that, listen, there's not a person on this planet that's going to save us. Donald Trump, if he gets in there, will he buy us 4 more years? Or will that set the whole system into a bigger whirlwind and China bring pain earlier? I honestly think that we don't have any time left. I think Apophis, the great asteroid, is coming around the sun, and it's a good chance it's going to hit us. But I think China's going to make a move first for the World Economic Forum. They're going to try to kill as many people as possible first. That way, when the destruction gets here and they're in their underground bunkers, just as the Bible says so, that when they come out from being underground, they won't have to worry about a Mad Max situation. I just want to see my kids grow old. I just want to see my grandkids grow up. Every day of my life, I live in my mind like I ain't got 2 years left. And that's terrifying because I cannot go as fast as I know I need to. I can't get everything done. Man, it's 10 o'clock. And I just got back home from working all day. All day. I've been at it. Spending money. Spending money to make money. Get your homes in order. Get your homes in order. We are way past DEFCON 12. Almost 11 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Olaf. I did not know. We are in too deep. There ain't no getting out. America's doomed. Ain't nothing gonna save us. Nothing. Facebook went out today and people lost their ever-loving minds. Wait till the power's out. It's like right now, I got 3 freezers outside underneath this building running. 3 freezers full of food. The freezer inside, the power goes out. I'm screwed. I wish I could pay somebody to come can meat. I would pay somebody by the hour to come to my house and can meat. Can every meat, every bit of meat that's here, every possum, every raccoon, every squirrel, and every deer. Can everything here. I'll pay you by the hour to do it. Because I don't have time to watch a pressure cooker and stay busy. Because I know when the crap hits the fan, there ain't going to be no food. Ain't going to be nothing. Anyway, everybody that's here, God bless you. Thank you, Gabby, for being here. Zoloft, Mossy Man, Gorf, you got my number, buddy. I love you guys. You got any questions or comments, let me know. Look up that Joe Rogan interview with Cat Williams. If I ever get this video to post, I'll share it. But look at it and see that Cat Williams is supposed to be a genius. But he wouldn't look at Joe Rogan and say, Joe, God sent angels to warn the people of Sodom and Gomorrah of their evil, to warn the people of their homosexuality, to warn the people of their bestiality, to warn the people of the pedophilia, to warn the people of their evil. God sent the angels to warn them and give them a chance to leave, and no one heeded his warning. Just like everything else in the Bible, God is warning us. And just like when I was in the kitchen today, and I told this black guy, he said, I sing gospel music, and I just was preaching to him. God isn't coming back right at this minute. He didn't come back today because he was giving you and me another day to get our crap together. Every day that God is not here is another day that he gave us grace to get our crap together. And I'm still the same man that I woke up this morning. I'm the same guy now as when I crawled out of bed. Am I so flawed that I can't be fixed? Am I so flawed that I will never be able to love my neighbor? Am I so flawed that I'm going to have to go to hell because I hate law enforcement so incessantly? I hate evil. And when I see evil, it burns me inside. It's the indignation I have for these people. What do you think of Montegraph? I have no idea what Montegraph is, but I'll look it up. I guess I think that's more than it. It's hard life, guys. Anyway, I love you. I'm out. I'll Google Gabby. God bless. Like, share, and subscribe.